Shalom. All praises call Halam La Yahweh Bashim Shah, the bonus of the apostles over the Great Millstone Church, on to the elder bishops. Salutations on down to the rest of the elders and Akim of the branches also hold forth the true word of life in all true faith and sincerity. So just getting into this. In this lesson, I want to touch on taking heed. All right. So we're gonna read 2 Peter 1:19. It says we also have a more sure word of prophecy, whereunto ye do well that ye take heed. So let's get this word. Let's get both of those words. We're gonna get take heed. Proseko.
Strong's G 4337. Prosecho. Prosecho.
All right. Now when you go into it, it says to bring near, to bring a ship to land. It's simply to touch. It says put in. It says it's simply to touch at or put in. It says to turn the mind to, attend to, be attentive to. All right. So let's get that word attentive. It says on the AI overview, it says attentive means paying close attention and careful attention. See that? So it also implies being considerate and mindful of others' needs. A person who is attentive is observant, focused, and quick to notice details. So here's a more detailed breakdown. It says observant and focused. Attentive individuals are good at noticing things and paying close attention to what is happening around them, considerate and mindful. They are aware of the needs and feelings of others and strive to be helpful and considerate. Active listening. Attentive is crucial for effective communication. For effective communication, requiring active listening and full presence in the conversation. A student who is attentive will take good notes and ask questions. A good server is attentive to their customers' needs. So it's pretty much just being aware when you're going into taking heed and dealing with being aware, you know, being mindful of it, noticing everything, and looking and notice everything. All right, it's because you get the Merriam-Webster dictionary. It says mindful, observant, and when you're observant, let's get this word observant. Observant.
Observant.
Paying strict attention. See, paying strict attention. Watchful, keen, perceptive. All right. So you're pretty much going out of your way. All right. It says synonyms will be vigilant, watchful, attentive, alert. So it's basically like being fully committed, man. All right. You all there. All right. So that's what attentive goes into. It goes into pretty much looking to be aware of everything that you ought to be aware of. For obviously um, 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 the needed purpose for why you would do so. All right. So if you're taking heed, right, it's for whatever purpose it would be in these ways. It would be looking, you know, going out of your way to be and keep your eyes open to where you're aware of, everything. You know, you're on your stuff. That's what it means to truly take heed. All right. So if someone tells you something like, you really need to watch out for this because of this, these people are looking for you, so forth, something like that, right? You should take heed, and you're gonna take heed by what? Going out of your way to be aware of everything you need to be aware of. So these people don't find you or something like that. For example, all right, you taking heed, you to the fact that the devil's walking around seeking whom he may devour. So for you to take heed, you're gonna be aware. You're gonna go out of your way to make sure, you're gonna go out of your way to make sure you're aware of everything. Uh, 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 in regards to that, for regards to that, you know, to where you don't get devoured. So you're gonna do things like pay attention to your surroundings, as it says, the people you talk to, the things, these the many forms he can come in, the things he can use, so forth and so on. All right. The Lord said, watch, unto prayer, so forth and so on. Looking for the signs. He told you to measure the time diligently in itself. So in order for you to take heed to that, you're gonna be paying attention to the events that's going on in the present time. And the ones that look like they're about to happen, which are events that the Lord said was going to happen. You're looking for them. All right, that would be you watching, to where you can see what time we're in, but that will ultimately be what you, in a nutshell, taking heed. So that's what it would look like to take heed. Now, when you get more into this definition, it says to attend oneself. It says, an example, to give heed to oneself, give attention. See, give attention to, take heed, to apply oneself, to attach oneself, to hold or cleave to a person or thing, right? Because you could take heed in many ways, but we know what taking heed would consist of now. You're going out of your way to be highly considerate and aware of everything. You're double checking. You're looking around to the point you're being vigilant. You see that? And so taking heed, you can't be vigilant without taking heed. And you can't take heed without being vigilant. See that? So forth and so on. So it says to be given or addicted to. Exactly. So you always on it. Like a dang, a fiend. They always, they go out of their way. Whatever they got to do to you know, that's what addiction is. Let's get to the word addiction, or addicted, because it said better than I can right now. So it says addicted means being compulsively committed. See, compulsively committed or drawn to a habit, substance, or behavior. All right, so you can have good addictions. It says it signifies a strong need or dependence, often involving physical or psychological craving and difficulty stopping. In a literal sense, it could refer to uh, uh, drug addiction, but the term is also used more broadly for any habit forming activity or thing. And there's nothing wrong with having habits if they're good. You really want good habits. All right. So, again, this is the meaning of taking heed, being addicted. All right. And when you're addicted to something, you're constantly doing it. So it's like a habit. All right. It says habit versus addiction. While habits are repetitive behaviors, addiction involves compulsive need and loss of control. You know, you want to be consumed with taking heed, you know, to the information, to the message, to being on your stuff, to making sure you the best you can be, you know, to making sure something don't happen to you or happen to you again. This how you will be on it. You see that? You're consumed by the concern, you know? You can't help it. It's like it's serious. It's like being a damn they call it a germaphobe or whatever, you know. But yeah, that's pretty much it, man. It says in the Strong's definition, it says, I'm gonna read this too. It says to devote thought and effort to, right? In the Strong's definition, it says to hold the mind towards an example, pay attention to, be cautious about. See that? Be cautious about, beware, be given to. All right, take heed to, unto, have regard. So there it is. All right. So, and this is a great. You have to take heed in order to, make your way prosperous with this knowledge. You know, in order to win this war and not be gotten. You know what I'm saying? Like you're consumed with the desire of achieving these things. And not falling to these things. Again, the word proseco. Okay. So, and it's gonna be to your advantage. You go into the root word. So this is 2 Peter 1:19. I'm gonna just read this again. It says, we also have a more sure word of prophecy, whereunto you do well that you take heed, as unto a light that shineth in a dark place, until the day dawn and the day star arise in your hearts. So you own it. You're not gonna get caught going to sleep. You know what I'm saying? You take a heed. The scriptures tell you, how it's certain that sleep not unless they, done they goddamn evil. So we gotta be like that in righteousness. I'm gonna get that too. 1 Thessalonians 5:6, and then that'll be it. Stay on it. I'm gonna get that too, but I wanna. Matter of fact, just let me get this one. Yeah, I'm gonna go back there. This is 1 Thessalonians 5. And I'm gonna start at 6. So therefore, let us not sleep as do others. Exactly, and that's how they get got, because they ain't taking heed. Again, going to what I read or I quoted earlier in 1 Peter 5:8. Be sober, right? Be vigilant. See that? Because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour. So you get warnings, you get exhortation. You get told, keep doing something, stop doing something, take heed. Watch out for this. Time's about to get serious. You might want to get more serious. You might want to, so forth and so on, man. All right. Take heed. Seek the Lord while he may be found. Take heed. You own it. All right. So a soldier on it, man. If they not, they get put to death. So they because they're in war, and since they're and with them knowing they're in war or aware they're in war, they looking to stay aware that they take heed to that, you know, to where they won't die. So there it is. It says, as a roaring lion walketh about, seeking whom he may devour. All right, so you take heed. But again, it says 1 Thessalonians 5 and 6, therefore let us not sleep as do others, but let us watch and be sober. See that? But let us watch and be sober. This is an NLT. So be on your guard, not asleep like the others. Stay alert and be clear-headed. See? So that's it. You know, your P's and Q's. All right. This is Proverbs 6 and 4. It says, give not sleep to thy eyes. Now, does this mean you don't go to sleep? You know, you don't use Shabbat. You don't use a day of rest. No, it don't mean that. You know, it's not literal. You know, that's being confident in a plain way. That's being simple. All right, in the wrong ways. You know, it means, you know, don't go to sleep mentally. You know, don't not be alert. All right, don't not take heed. See that? In the NLT it says, don't put it off, do it now. Don't rest until you do. See that? So you taking heed until we out of here, man. We away from the goddamn adversary, the devil. He's, you know, the root of wickedness is sealed up, you know, from us, man. He that endureth to the end, the same shall be saved. See that? So again, give not back in the KJV, give not sleep to thy eyes, nor slumber to thy eyelids. Deliver thyself. See that? Deliver thyself as a roe from the hand of the hunter, and as a bird from the hand of the fowler. Yeah. The main, when you watch Animal Planet, you see those animals get ate to prey. One is because they are prey, but it's not just because they are prey that wasn't taking heed to the fact they are prey. So that's why we set up as the watchmen to warn Israel to get to the flock of the slaughter. Alluding to Zechariah 11 and 5. The Lord said, arise, in Micah 2, and depart. Arise and depart, for this is not your rest. It will destroy you with a sword of destruction. You know, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. So you should take heed to that and get knowledge. And definitely not reject it. But our people go on and do that. So if you do the opposite, you take heed, you do well. You know what I'm saying? You cut from things. Yeah, the Lord bring temptation your way and try you, but that's just that. All right? You ain't dealt with like everybody else. You ain't necessarily dealing with, it ain't for the same reason. All right? So then the Lord won't tempt you above that which you are able. So with that, I'm going to say, call Allah like Yahweh Basmi Al-Shai wa Hawakakadash. And with that, it says when a man is tempted, the Lord, he make a way for you to get out of it. So you take that out. You got to be taking heed to look for it. You know what I'm saying? Somebody come up talking crazy, and then somebody across the street say something. Like, hey, if you take that out. You know what I'm saying? Okay, let me, you know what I'm saying? That's it. You got to be taking heed. That's how it's going to work. That's how it's going to come. All right? You take heed unto the end. You know, you're enduring. That's how you're going to be saved. So with that, call on my help. I'll smell. Shout out to next time. Shalom.